Welcome to part 1 of our selection of the greatest auction lots of the Monterey Car Week this year. In this episode, we are focused on the Gooding Christie's auction. This year's Monterey Car Week auction catalogs reading like the complete automotive history, from pre-war elegance to post-war racing and modern super and mega cars. We try to pick the most interesting, exciting and surprising motor cars coming up across all the major houses: Gooding Christie's, Sotheby's, Broad Arrow, and for each one we want to tell you why it matters what's happening on the auction block. Some are 100-year-old milestones of engineering, some are the hottest modern collectibles on the planet right now. Let's dive into it. Gooding Christie's is the official auction of the Pebble Beach concours of elegance. They have gone deep into post-war Italian competition cars this year. The selection reads less like a catalogue, but rather as a description of the Motorsport Hall of Fame. A brief reminder, their 2025 Pebble sale did around $120 million. Not too shabby, I would say. Top lot of the sale was the 250 GT long wheelbase California Spider prototype at $7,200,065. So let's have a look what interesting cars Gooding has on offer this year. The halo lot is definitely the 1963 Ferrari 250p with a wonderful body designed by Fantuzzi. This race car is arguably the single most historically important race Ferrari on the entire car week this year. Chassis number 0810 is the first Ferrari carrying a P in their name, the original mid-engine V12 Sport Racing prototype. In 1963, it marked the moment Ferrari moved the legendary V12 behind the driver, an architecture that would define its endurance racers and road cars for decades. In period, it was campaigned by Luigi Chinetti's North American racing team, better known as NART, and the Scuderia Bear. Second overall at the 12 Hours of Sebring and third overall at the Le Mans 24 Hours are the most significant victories. But chassis 0810 raced also at competitions at Bridgehampton, Mo Sports and one of my favorite races of all times in Nassau. It's now been offered after being a centerpiece in one of the prestigious collections since 1988. Here's the thing. Genuine first-of-type prototypes with unbroken provenance are naturally a rare candidate to be seen in auctions. This car played a central role in the Scuderia Ferrari's dominant 1963 World Sports Car Championship campaign, which explains the estimate between $15 and $20 million. An absolute rare opportunity for a legendary car. Since 1998, Classic Driver is also the place where auction houses advertising their latest lots for their upcoming auctions. So if you are looking for something classic like this wonderful Ferrari 250 GT Europa, or something more sporty and modern like this 599 SR Aperta, you should definitely check the Classic Driver market. Check the latest auction lots and you will for sure find something that you will like and you can go bidding for. We stay within the family of race cars. For sale is one of just 20 Comp 61 SEFAC Hot Rod Berlinettas, the final and most brutal evolution of the 250 GT short wheelbase. SEFA stands for the Società Esercizio Fabbriche Automobili e Corse, the formal company name behind Ferrari's historic racing operations. Sorry for all the Italian-speaking people listening to this mess. What made this car so special? Lighter Tipo 539/61 chassis with thinner tubing and revised suspension. Alloy body in even lighter gauge aluminium with an external quick-fill cap. A V12 with Testarossa type heads, enlarged valves, high lift cams and magnesium castings. Further, 3 Weber carburetors to only name a few modifications. Roughly 280 HP in a car with a weight of just over 2,000 pounds. All the right ingredients to win on the racetrack. The between $8 and $10 million estimated 250 GT short wheelbase debuted at the Le Mans test weekend with Mike Parks, Fernando Tavano and Joe Schlesser, and cautiously set the fastest GT time, over 20 seconds quicker than a gentleman-raced Aston Martin DB4 GT Zagato. One of the most wonderful bodies ever to be designed for a race car could bring a strong result. However, it would be a surprise if this short wheelbase could beat the $13.5 million result of another 250 GT Competizione, chassis number 1759 GT, sold by Gooding in Monterey back in 2016. Then there is the 1966 Dino 206 S Berlinetta. Only a few competition Ferraris are remembered for their beauty. The Dino 206 is the exception. A genuine endurance prototype that happens to rank among the most wonderful cars Italy ever produced. Chassis 014 is the last of just 3 Berlinettas built from a total run of only 18 cars. The 206S traces back to the compact V6 that Alfredo Dino Ferrari developed together with Vittorio Jano in the early 1950s. The engine that carried Ferrari to the Formula One success before powering its mid-engine prototypes and the road-going Dinos. Introduced for 1966 and delivered from the experimental 166P, the 206 paired a Lightwell tubular chassis with a 65-degree 4-cam V6, a legendary engine. The last of 3 Berlinettas campaigned throughout Baynard and still carrying its matching numbers engine in ultimate Lucas-fueled injected specification. Beautiful, technically sophisticated, and holding one of the most distinguished competition records of any 206Ss. The model and Ferrari's V6 Sport Racing program at its finest. With an estimate of $3.5 to $5 million, a little more accessible entry into competition Ferraris than the 250s, for example. Cars like the ones we choose depend heavily on originality and documentation and provenance. In a nutshell, Gooding Christie's offering in their Pebble Beach auction this year is a history lesson in post-war Ferrari racing. Anchored, obviously, by the first ever P-car, which, if it sells well, could be one of the defining results of the entire Monterey Week 2026. This was part 1 of 3. Follow us so you don't miss the next episode featuring the coolest lots of our Sotheby's on this year's Monterey Week.